Welcome back. Today's deep dive is all about one of the most overlooked coins in British numismatics. Let's explore the top 5 most valuable United Kingdom 1/2 new penny coins, focusing on different years, mint characteristics, and conditions that can significantly affect their value. The United Kingdom 1/2 new penny. Introduced during decimalisation in 1971, this small bronze coin might seem common at first glance, but certain years, conditions, and rare variations can make it surprisingly valuable in the collector's market. Let's get started. First, the United Kingdom new penny half, also known as the 1/2 new penny from 1974. At first glance, it may look like a simple, low-value coin, especially in circulated condition. But when we dig deeper into its history, design, and collector interest, you might be surprised to learn how even a worn example can attract attention in the coin market. So, if you've ever come across one of these coins, stay with us as we explore its true story and potential value in today's auction world. The 1/2 new penny was introduced in 1971 as part of the United Kingdom's major decimalisation of its currency system. Before this change, British currency was based on pounds, shillings, and pence, a system that had been in place for centuries. The 1974 issue belongs to the early years of this decimal era, when the Royal Mint was producing large quantities of new coins to replace the old system. The half-penny denomination was designed to help with pricing accuracy, especially for small everyday purchases. However, due to inflation and reduced purchasing power, the 1/2 penny gradually became less useful and was eventually withdrawn from circulation in 1984. This relatively short lifespan adds a layer of historical importance to coins like the 1974 issue. The 1974 1/2 new penny features a classic and recognizable design. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, which was used on many British coins during that period. The reverse showcases a Street Edward Crown Riverside Show OK, a symbol historically associated with the Palace of Westminster. The inscription New Penny appears above the design, along with the denomination 1/2 below. The coin is made of bronze, giving it that familiar brown tone, although circulated examples often appear darker or worn due to years of use. While millions of these coins were minted, subtle variations in strike quality, color, and condition can influence their desirability among collectors. Now, let's address the key question: how rare is the 1974 1/2 new penny, especially in circulated or damaged condition? The reality is that this coin is not considered rare in general, as it was produced in very large numbers. Circulated examples, including those with scratches, discoloration, or wear, are extremely common. However, collector demand doesn't disappear entirely. Some collectors specifically seek out circulated coins to complete date sets, and others are interested in unusual errors, off-center strikes, or coins with unique toning. A heavily damaged coin without any distinctive feature usually has minimal value, but if there's something unusual about it, even a worn piece could attract attention in niche auctions. When it comes to auction value, expectations should be realistic. A typical 1974 1/2 new penny in circulated condition usually sells for around 10 cents to $1, depending on its appearance and overall wear. Extremely worn or damaged coins may have little to no resale value beyond bulk bronze pricing. However, coins in better circulated condition with clear details can sometimes fetch slightly higher prices, especially in online marketplaces. If a rare mint error or striking anomaly is present, the value could increase significantly, potentially reaching $10 to $50 or more, depending on the rarity and collector interest. But such cases are the exception rather than the rule. If you're interested in collecting coins like the 1974 1/2 new penny, there are a few practical tips to keep in mind. First, always examine your coins carefully for errors or unusual features. These are often where hidden value lies. Second, avoid cleaning your coins, as this can reduce their value in the eyes of collectors. Third, consider storing your coins in protective holders to prevent further wear or corrosion. Finally, stay informed by checking recent auction results and coin catalogs to understand current market trends. Even common coins can become more desirable over time, especially as fewer remain in good condition. To sum it all up, the United Kingdom 1974 1/2 new penny in circulated condition is a coin rich in history but modest in value. While it may not make you rich, it offers a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in British monetary history: the shift to decimal currency. Its widespread availability means it's accessible to collectors of all levels, and with a bit of luck, you might even find an unusual piece worth more than expected. So next time you come across one of these coins, take a closer look, because even the smallest denominations can tell a big story. Next up, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny from 1973. At first glance, this small bronze coin might seem ordinary, but collectors around the world are always curious about its rarity, condition, and auction value. In this video, We'll explore whether this coin is truly valuable, especially in fine condition, and how much it can fetch in today's market in US dollars. The 1/2 new penny was introduced in 1971 during the United Kingdom's transition to decimal currency. This was a major monetary reform that simplified the old system into the decimal format we know today. The halfpenny coin played a practical role in helping prices adjust smoothly during this change, allowing transactions to include smaller values. By 1973, millions of these coins were being produced at the Royal Mint in Lantrizant. In fact, the mintage for the 1973 halfpenny reached approximately 365 million coins, making it a widely circulated denomination at the time. Despite its heavy circulation, the coin remained in use until it was eventually demonetized in 1984. The 1973 halfpenny is made of bronze and has a diameter of about 17.4 millimeters with a weight of roughly 1.78 grams. On the obverse, it features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse displays the St. Edward's crown, a symbol of British monarchy and authority. What makes this coin interesting for collectors is not just its design, but also its historical context. It represents the early years of decimal currency. Additionally, some rare variations, such as minting errors or unusual strikes, can significantly increase its desirability in the collector market. Now here's the truth that many new collectors don't expect. The 1973 halfpenny is not considered a rare coin. Because of its extremely high mintage, it is classified as a common issue with medium rarity at best when the coin is in damaged or heavily circulated condition. Scratches, corrosion, or worn details, its collector demand drops sharply. In fact, most damaged examples are valued only slightly above face value, or sometimes even less in bulk sales. However, collectors may still keep such coins for historical interest or as part of a complete set. Let's talk about what really matters: the value. In fine condition, which shows moderate wear but still retains clear details, the 1973 halfpenny typically sells for around 15 cents to 65 cents. Lower grade coins can drop to as little as 6 cents, while uncirculated examples may reach up to $2 or slightly more in exceptional cases. At auctions, standard examples rarely command high prices due to their availability. However, coins with mint errors or unique characteristics can attract higher bids. Still, for a normal 1973 halfpenny in fine condition, you should realistically expect a value under $1. If you're planning to collect or invest in coins like this, here are a few important tips. First, always focus on condition. Coins in better preservation grades are significantly more valuable. Second, look for rare errors such as off-center strikes or unusual metal composition, as these can dramatically increase value. Avoid cleaning your coins, as this can damage the surface and reduce their worth. Instead, store them in protective holders to maintain their condition. Lastly, if you believe your coin is unique, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service or selling it through a reputable auction platform. So, is the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny 1973 a hidden treasure? Not exactly. While it holds historical importance and is a great collectible for beginners, its high mintage means it remains a common coin in today's market. In fine condition, its value is modest, typically under $1, unless it has special features or errors. That said, every coin tells a story, and this one represents a key moment in British monetary history. Whether you're a serious collector or just curious about old coins, the 1973 halfpenny is still a fascinating piece worth exploring. Next up, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny from 1971, specifically in damaged condition. While many collectors often chase coins in pristine or mint state, there's an interesting and often overlooked market for coins that have seen heavy circulation or even damage. You might be surprised to learn that even a worn or damaged 1971 half new penny can still attract attention from collectors, depending on certain factors. So in this video, we'll explore its background, features, rarity, and what it could actually sell for in today's market, all in US dollars. The 1971 1/2 new penny was introduced as part of the United Kingdom's major decimalization reform, which officially took place on February 15, 1971, also known as Decimal Day. This marked the transition from the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence to a simpler decimal system. The half new penny was one of the smallest denominations introduced at the time, valued at half of 1 new penny. Although it may seem insignificant today, it played a key role in easing the public into the new currency structure. However, due to inflation and reduced purchasing power, the denomination was eventually withdrawn from circulation in 1984, making it a short-lived but historically important coin. the 1971 half-new penny features a clean and simple design. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, a familiar and iconic image seen on many British coins of that era. The reverse side displays a crowned portcullis with chains, a symbol associated with the Palace of Westminster, along with the denomination new halfpenny. The coin is made from bronze, giving it a warm brown tone, although damaged coins often appear darker, scratched, corroded, or uneven in texture. Even in poor condition, the basic design elements are usually still visible, which helps maintain some collector interest. Now, let's address the key question: how rare is this coin, especially in damaged condition? The reality is that the 1971 half-new penny is not considered rare in general. Millions were minted, making it a very common coin. However, rarity can shift depending on condition and specific errors. In damaged condition, most of these coins are quite common and hold minimal value. That said, if the damage is unusual, such as minting errors, off-center strikes, or unique wear patterns, collectors may still show interest. Additionally, some collectors focus on assembling full date sets regardless of condition, which can create modest demand even for worn examples. When it comes to auction market value, a standard 1971 half-new penny in damaged or heavily circulated condition typically sells for around 5 cents to 50 cents USD. In many cases, it may not even reach $1 unless it has something distinctive about it. However, coins with unusual errors or clearly visible but rare features could fetch anywhere from $2 to $10 US, depending on the uniqueness and buyer interest. It's important to stay realistic here. Most damaged examples are valued more as historical keepsakes rather than investment-grade collectibles. Auction platforms like eBay often reflect these modest price ranges. If you have a damaged 1971 half-new penny, don't rush to dismiss it. Start by carefully examining the coin for any unusual features such as misprints, double strikes, or off-center designs. Avoid cleaning the coin, as this can further reduce its value. Even in damaged condition, originality matters to collectors. Store it in a dry place to prevent further deterioration. If you're serious about coin collecting, consider grouping similar coins into sets. Sometimes a collection as a whole can be more appealing than individual pieces. And always compare recent auction listings to get a realistic idea of value. To sum it up, the United Kingdom 1971 one-half-new penny in damaged condition is not particularly rare, but it still carries historical significance as part of Britain's decimalisation era. While its market value in dollars is generally low, it can still hold interest for beginner collectors or those fascinated by British coinage history. The key takeaway is simple: not every coin needs to be perfect to be meaningful. Sometimes, even a damaged coin tells a story of circulation, time, and change. Next up, the United Kingdom one-half-new penny from 1976 in fine condition. At first glance, this small bronze coin may seem ordinary, but collectors around the world are always searching for hidden value in everyday currency. In this video, we'll explore its history, features, rarity, and most importantly, its auction market value in US dollars. You might be surprised at what this tiny coin is really worth. The one-half-new penny was introduced as part of the United Kingdom's major decimalisation reform in 1971. Before this change, Britain used a complex system of pounds, shillings, and pence. The new decimal system simplified everything, and coins like the half-new penny became part of daily life. By 1976, millions of these coins were already in circulation, helping people adjust to the modern currency system. In fact, the 1976 issue had a massive mintage of over 412 million coins, meaning it was widely used across the country. The 1976 half-new penny is made of bronze and weighs about 1.78 grams, with a diameter of just over 17 millimeters. On the obverse, it features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, giving it a classic and recognizable appearance. On the reverse, you'll find the St. Edward's crown along with the inscription New Penny and the denomination 1/2. This design reflects the early years of decimal coinage, when the word new was used to distinguish it from the old pre-decimal system. Its simple yet historic design makes it appealing to collectors, even today. Now let's talk about rarity, and this is where expectations need to be realistic. Despite being over 4 decades old, the 1976 half-new penny is not truly rare because of its extremely high mintage. However, condition plays a major role in collector demand. A coin in fine condition shows moderate wear but still retains clear details. While this isn't the highest grade, it is still collectible, especially for beginners building a British coin set. Most collectors don't consider this coin rare in circulated condition, but specific factors like unusual errors, mint brilliance, or inclusion in special sets can increase demand significantly. So, what is the actual value? In general, a standard 1976 half new penny in fine condition is worth only a small amount, often close to its face value, typically around 20 cents to 50 cents USD based on collector guides. However, auction listings show that prices can vary widely. Some circulated examples sell for around $5 to $15, especially if they appear in better than average condition or attract competitive bidding. On the other hand, unrealistic listings can go much higher, but these are often unsold or speculative. In top uncirculated condition, the coin may reach a few dollars more, but it still remains a low-value collectible overall. The key takeaway is that condition, presentation, and buyer interest all influence the final auction price. If you're thinking about collecting or selling this coin, here are a few helpful tips. First, always examine the condition carefully. Coins with sharper details and less wear are more desirable. Second, check for errors or unusual features, as these can dramatically increase value. Third, consider selling through reputable auction platforms where collectors actively bid. And finally, remember that while this coin may not be extremely valuable, it holds historical significance as part of Britain's decimal transition, making it a great addition to any collection. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny 1976 in fine condition is a common but historically important coin. While it isn't considered rare due to its massive mintage, it still carries modest value in the collector market, typically ranging from a few cents to a few dollars depending on condition and demand. For collectors, it represents a key piece of the UK's monetary history. So if you have one of these coins, don't expect a fortune, but do appreciate the story it tells. And who knows? With the right condition or unique feature, even a small coin can surprise you at auction. Next up, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny from 1975 in fine condition. While this coin might seem ordinary at first glance, it carries a unique place in Britain's monetary history and continues to attract attention from beginner collectors and seasoned numismatists alike. In this video, we will explore its background, design features, rarity, and most importantly, its current auction market value in dollars. The 1/2 new penny coin was introduced in 1971 as part of the United Kingdom's decimalisation system, which replaced the old pounds, shillings, and pence system. The goal was to simplify currency for everyday use, and the halfpenny was designed to help bridge small pricing gaps in the early decimal economy. By 1975, the coin had already become a familiar part of British circulation. It was minted in large quantities by the Royal Mint, meaning it was widely used in everyday transactions across the UK. However, despite its usefulness at the time, inflation gradually reduced the coin's purchasing power. By the early 1980s, the halfpenny had become less practical, leading to its withdrawal from circulation in 1984. This historical shift makes the 1975 issue a small but important witness to a changing monetary era. The 1975 1/2 new penny is made from bronze, giving it a warm copper tone that many collectors find attractive. On the obverse, it features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, which was widely used during the early decimal coinage period. The reverse displays the classic seated Britannia design, symbolizing Britain's strength and maritime heritage. One of the most notable features is its size. This coin is extremely small and lightweight, especially compared to modern currency. In fine condition, details such as Britannia's shield, trident, and the Queen's portrait remain visible but may show signs of moderate wear due to circulation. When it comes to rarity, the 1975 halfpenny is not considered scarce. In fact, millions were minted, making it a very common coin in the UK series. However, condition plays a major role in collector interest. In fine condition, the coin is still easily obtainable, and even damaged or heavily circulated examples are frequently found in old collections, jars, or estate lots. Damaged coins, those with scratches, corrosion, or heavy wear, have significantly lower collector demand. Most numismatists are more interested in uncirculated or mint state examples, especially those preserved in original Royal Mint sets. That said, even damaged coins can still appeal to beginner collectors who are trying to complete full-year sets at a low cost. In today's numismatic market, the 1975 UK 1/2 new penny in fine circulated condition typically has a very modest value. On average, it sells for around 10 cents to $1 USD, depending on condition and buyer interest. Even in slightly better than average fine condition, it rarely exceeds $2 to $3 USD. Uncirculated examples from mint sets can reach a slightly higher range, sometimes selling between $5 and $10 US, especially if they are well preserved and professionally graded. However, standard circulated or damaged examples remain common and do not carry significant auction premiums. The reality is that this coin's value lies more in historical interest than financial gain. It is a classic example of a once essential currency that has now become a collectible artifact. If you are collecting UK decimal coins, the 1975 halfpenny is a great entry-level piece. First, always check the condition. Carefully look for clear details in Britannia's design and minimal corrosion on the surface. Storing the coin properly in a dry, protective holder will help preserve its appearance over time. It is also a good idea to collect full-year sets rather than single coins, as this increases both historical value and visual appeal. While you should not expect high resale profits from this coin alone, it can contribute nicely to a complete UK decimal collection. Finally, be cautious when buying coins online. Since this coin is very common, avoid overpaying for circulated examples being marketed as rare, as this is often misleading. To conclude, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny 1975 in fine condition is a fascinating reminder of Britain's decimal currency era. Although it is not rare and holds only a small monetary value in today's auction market, it still plays an important role in numismatic history. Its design, historical context, and accessibility make it a great coin for beginners and casual collectors. While its market value in dollars remains low, its true worth lies in its story, a small bronze coin that once helped shape everyday commerce in the United Kingdom. If you enjoy collecting historical coins, this is certainly one worth adding to your collection for its historical significance rather than its price tag. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting coin reviews and value guides. Drop a comment below if you have this coin in your collection or if you'd like us to review another one. See you in the next video.